speaker is Gudrun Willet. Welcome.
Hi. Again, my name is Gudrun Willet, and I live at 811 3rd Street South. Forgive me for my cold. My husband and I are cultural anthropologists, and we run a market research firm from our home. We have 2 children, 12 and 4 years old. The eldest attends Stillwater Middle School. I am here today to advocate on behalf of both children, but particularly the 6th grader, who is dyslexic. Before the spring of 2017, my husband and I had no clue what dyslexia was. In preschool, a teacher told us that our oldest child wasn't making the same connections as other children, but she told us not to worry about it at that time. As the years went by, no other teacher or administrator ever advised us to test him for dyslexia or any other learning disability, even though we knew that he was a very reluctant reader and writer. By 4th grade, he was reading more fluently, and by 5th grade, his teacher reassured us that he was reading at grade level. However, at the end of 5th grade, he still avoided reading and writing as much as possible. We knew that something was going on. The struggle was real for him. It stressed him out every time he tried to do an assignment. A friend and a family member, luckily for us, clued us in that he might be dyslexic. We had him tested at the University of Minnesota in May of 2017. The neuropsychologist diagnosed him with mild dyslexia, mild dysgraphia, and mild anxiety associated with dyslexia. It turns out that all of these years, our son had not actually been associating individual sounds to letters when reading. He had been guessing at words based on context. These diagnoses also explained his occasional depression and anxiety about learning. Despite being an extremely perceptive person, he often described himself as stupid, and we and a few teachers sometimes thought that he wasn't working hard in school. That couldn't be farther from the truth. In fact, he was working harder and way more than any of the other students around him because of how his brain processes information. It was amazing that he actually passed as being at grade level all those years. Now that we know that our son is dyslexic, we have been helping him fill in the gaps with private Orton Gillingham tutoring. This should help him read more fluently in the future and help him better manage his coursework, but it will not solve or cure his dyslexia. The way he thinks and sees the world will always be different than 80% of the population. And that can be a wonderful thing, even if it does come with challenges in a traditional education setting. Most researchers use the term dyslexia to describe the condition of processing information in the brain so that some types of learning, such as reading, are more difficult for these individuals. Working memory or short-term memory can also get overloaded in the process of reading, and it may be harder for dyslexic people to remember a fact or skill without many repetitions, without breaking it down into more distinct steps, or using a song or rhyme or other meaningful memory aid. Nonetheless, dyslexia can also be a great thing for individuals in our society, and I just wanted to express this. We've been talking about the challenges, but there's reasons why we want to support these kids in the way that they can give so much to us and to our society through their ability to get the gist and essence of things, see the larger picture, see things in multiple perspectives, and just their creativity. The way that their brains work is challenging for certain activities and amazing for others. So we have to look at both sides of the coin. So back to my son and what's going on here in the school district. I really, really want to reemphasize what my other presenters have said, that this curriculum does not appear at first to us to represent something that will help all of us. Not just dyslexic kids, but kids in all spectrum of interests and needs. Ones who are newly looking at English language for the first time, and kids who aren't dyslexic would also benefit from a more structured literacy program. So again, we need to educate teachers and families about dyslexia. We need to identify students with dyslexia through research-based assessments. We need to provide children and families with appropriate curricula to support their learning, such as a structured literacy program. We need to vote no on this curricular purchase and have experts look at what's going on here and see whether parts of it can be used. And we need to hire and draw on dyslexia experts to help children in all of their subject areas and grades, not just in the early periods. Dyslexia affects children and adults differently, and it takes great expertise to figure out what accommodations will help each child reach their full potential. I'm not an expert. I'm an anthropologist. I need help figuring out what will help with my son. Thank you.
Thank you very much.